Had a lot of fun here all week long. I think in my next incarnation I should be Lil Greenie. Like Little G.
Yeah, you do it in reverse. Usually when artists start off with Lil in front of their name, they get older, they drop it.
No, you
didn't have it.
Benjamin Button on that. Yeah.
That's right, because like most geniuses, I will not be fully appreciated until long after my time. I'm going to rewrite the game. That's pretty much my goal. Anyways, you can see we've got a jam-packed house, and hopefully we'll keep it to 2 people talking at a time max. In our final hour, as we get up with not 1 but 2 superstars live from the Seaport District at Pier 17, brought to you by Chase. Here's what we've got. We've got Kawhi. We've got the Greek Freak. One of them rising to the occasion. The other one, not so much. That's a minute away. Plus, the All-NBA teams are out, and there's a big snub. He's perplexed. Jalen has a vote. We'll see if he agrees. And one of Kevin Durant's former teammates joins us live to shed some light on where the star may go. And guess what? It's not where you're thinking. We got all that and more in a big hour of Get Up on ESPN, starting with our game of the night, the critical Game 5 last night in Milwaukee, and the 2 superstars ready to try and lead their teams. That's Kawhi, that's Giannis. We got Drake back home at Jurassic Park, and early on, it was Giannis. In transition, Jalen, he remains almost impossible to stop.
Absolutely. This is Giannis at his best. You see the go-ahead pass from Brogdon, the Bledsoe, the lob over the top to the Greek Freak for the bucket and 1.
And no matter how many red shirts there are, he is still willing to take it to the hole and finish strong.
You don't cut off that right hand in transition, he'll put you on the poster just like this, Greeny. That should have been an and 1 as well. That's the only time I saw Danny Green all night. He had 0 points.
Bucks led by 3 at halftime. 4th quarter, it's Kawhi. We're going to show you back-to-back offensive possessions there as he rises and knocks down a 3, and then a little step back here from Kawhi.
That's just when you have a great player. They were zoning it up, 5 people ready to help. He just created space and knocked down the 3.
Look at Drake fired up back home. Now here's Giannis knocking down a 3, so the Bucks are within 2. Under 3 minutes to go. Here's an interesting sequence. Bucks are trailing by 3. That's Brogdon in the corner. It's no good, but it comes right back to him, and it winds up in the right hands. Brook Lopez, bang, we're tied. Gucci Mane is there getting fired up.
I'm a little disappointed in you, Gucci. You represent A-Town.
My words exactly. Anyway, then here's Kawhi. Fred VanVleet. Oh, look at that. VanVleet off the bench. 7 threes. 21 for him. Raptors a 3-point lead. Bucks now down 3 under 2 minutes to play. This is a bad moment for Milwaukee. Watch Giannis in the corner. Off the miss. He's coming in. He's going to try and make a steal. Watch the ankle. Just watch the ankle, and down he goes, Jay.
Got to get back on defense right there. Took a chance and it cost him.
Because he has to sit out a possession or 2, and on the other end, he's not on the floor for this play, and maybe he makes a difference here. This is a critical call, because if the ball doesn't touch the rim, it's a 24-second violation. It does. It's correctly called. There's a foul on the court. So Gasol goes to the line to shoot 2, makes the first. This is the second. That's no good. So we got a 3-point game. Let's stay with it. Bucks the rebound. Here goes Bledsoe. Brogdon in the corner, and it is knocked away. And it looks like it goes off Pascal Siakam. So no problem. They're going to have 26 seconds. They're going to get the ball back, but not so fast.
See, in today's NBA, Greeny, it's 30 seconds on the clock. In his head, Bledsoe, he wanted to rush it up and go 2 for 1. At that possession, you want to get the best shot, not the fastest one.
Critically, the ball that's ruled Toronto's ball, and correctly so. So now Milwaukee has to foul, and they don't get it done. Boy, they were running at Lowry there, and they just quite didn't get there in time. Take another look. I think they got this right. It's extremely close one way or another. There's nothing they can do about it now. Kawhi with 35. Giannis with 24. Drake and company fired up in Toronto. Raptors, a win away from the finals. They take it on the road.
I'm not afraid of the moment. I enjoy it. And, this was what I work out for in the summer. I'm just out there trying to win. It just not really matter about me scoring. It's just about being aggressive and don't shy away from anything.
Obviously, I'm pissed. I'm not gonna lie to you, but we're not gonna fold, man. Come on, man. We best team in the league, man. We're not gonna fold. We're gonna go and give everything we got. We're not gonna go there and even they set a great tone and they come out and hit us in the mouth first. We can't fold. We're gonna come back to Milwaukee being pissed. Like, you cannot fold. You gotta go out there and give everything you got. If we lose, we lose. Okay, cool. But we're not going forward as a team, and that's not what we do.
All right, and what a difference a week makes. Up 2-0, the Bucks were minus 900 to win the series at Caesars Sportsbook, meaning you had to lay $900 to win 100. Now they're a 2-point road dog facing elimination in Game 6, and they're plus 200 for the series. And for those of you not versed in gambling lingo, that means Vegas now believes that the Raptors are going to the NBA Finals. And so, Bruce, you opened the show this morning by giving credit to Kawhi Leonard. Let's look at the flip side of that. The superstar Giannis. What are you seeing from him and not seeing?
Well, I'm seeing a player that still needs to work on his game. The fact that we talk about other NBA players and what they can't do. We talked about Ben Simmons and his inability to make shots. This shot right here, this is a bad shot. But it's a bad shot specifically because Giannis doesn't have the creativity to get to a spot and trust a jump shot. It's so hard to take what you do from practice to get to getting it into the game. So you have him here, finish with the left hand, not the right hand. You have to trust these situations. This is an all-star, but it just shows you that he has room for improvement. And in order for him to be that upper level echelon as far as a superstar, he has to work on his game and get better.
As a three-time champion, excuse me, you know this. The further you advance in the playoffs, the more your weaknesses get exposed. It doesn't mean that you're not a terrific player. It just all guys, probably except Michael Jordan, have strengths and weaknesses. So as now you start to get stiffer defensive competition, you now see that Giannis, it'd be great if he had a knockdown three-point shot. It'd be great if he didn't miss 5 free throws. If he had an actual post move that was not a dunk, maybe a jump hook, a turnaround jumper. Those are the things they're taking away from him. They're taking away those direct line drives to the basket where he can get a layup or a dunk.
And we always talk about this. What's your counter to when a team stops you from doing what you want to do? That's why you have to work on all facets of the game. I talk about that left-hand layup. He used to do these left-hand layups with Kobe Bryant this summer, 400 in a row in the beginning. But you got to trust it in the game, especially in the meat of the game. You got to trust what you're working
on. And people, sometimes we think of Antetokounmpo as though he came into the league with the expectation he would be this. He has improved so much year by year. It feels like he's a guy who will do that, right? He will add this to his game. It's just not there yet.
Well, think about it. He leapfrogged the process. LeBron James leads the conference. He's in the conference finals, and he's probably going to win MVP. Like, all of this has kind of just happened overnight. He's going to continue to get better.
Correct. The question is he ready to lead this team to the finals this year? A week ago, to the point that Hembo made in the full screen, it looked like the resounding answer was yes. Now there are significant questions. Laura, let's get some answers over there on your side of the table.
Yeah, Jay, Will wanted to specifically follow up on Jalen's comment about how teams and players, when they get into these type of environments, doesn't mean you're not good, but you are getting exposed with some of your weaknesses.
Giannis, minus the passing, is a 7-foot version of Russell Westbrook, right? With the way he attacks the rim. And to further enhance what Jalen just said about him driving to the basket or missing free throws, 65% of the shots that he's made have been within 3 feet from the basket. He's only shot 19% outside of that 3 feet. He's only made 7 shots out of the restricted area. So when you get into the half-court scenario of the playoffs, it kind of goes to show you how inept their offense is, because it's either Giannis attacking, everybody else staying on the perimeter shooting threes, or it just seems like it's going to be a forced shot.
They can't get out in transition. They can't win because that's where they're at the very best. And when you look at Giannis and his success and his failure, look, Nick Nurse, defensive game plan has been not good. It's been great. So now Coach Bud, he's got to make an adjustment. You talk about Giannis, he's great in transition. Yeah, if you can get steals, turnovers, you're going to get out in transition. But how about give it up and get to the front of the rim like they did in that one play where he got it back and dunked the ball? How about not getting him the ball in the middle of the floor with the defense set, initiating, and getting the ball on a reversal where he's forcing a closeout, and now he can drive the closeout. They put him in a position where the defense is set. They've got to change how they're using him, and they've got to move him in the action more so they can get him the ball in a reversal. So now he's attacking the defense in closeout as opposed to the defense with set. It's real simple. It's hard.
Kemba got it. You were a couple.
I mean, that's cool and all, but like when you go to 5 straight finals, I respect those guys, but when you go to 5 straight, I mean, it takes more than just a couple of NBA guys. It's like an all-time team, but whatever. That's not it. I'd rather win a championship than be 13 All-NBA, so it's all good. Do I think there's that many guards better than me in the league? No, but that's the reason why we're still playing, so I don't even want to get into it, honestly.
Look, the body language says it all. Well, look, it's impossible to – listen, why are you saying that? I'm just curious to know why you made that sound.
Well, here's the thing that has happened in today's society. We've confused 2 things. Rings don't equal money. I'm sorry. You give me $30 million, you can have all of the rings. Okay, let's not get it twisted. Kemba Walker can get $80 more million to stay with the Bobcats. guess where I would be playing my entire career?
Right.
In Charlotte.
Exactly, even though they changed their names. But that's neither here nor there. Because it's the whole
That's what happens when you don't make the playoffs.
I understand.
Okay.
Here's the point, is that there are sacrifices that are made to be on these all-time great teams.
Correct.
And we've talked about it.
Correct.
Draymond has given up a little bit of his game.
Yep.
Steph has given up a little bit of his game. Klay Thompson just gave up $30 million. That, to me, is an important point to make.
Well, actually, so for those who don't understand how the voting process works, the two guys that we're talking most about are Kemba and Klay. So basically, it's the guards. So for first team, I had Harden and Steph. Harden, historic year. Steph Curry.
Let's put up Jalen's teams. Jalen, to remind everyone, has a vote.
Okay,
so this
cool.
is your vote.
So second team, Russell Westbrook averaged a triple-double for the third straight year.
Right.
And Dame Lillard, his team was the third seed. Third team, I actually had Klay on my squad.
Yeah.
Instead of Kemba, because of what Klay said. Better player, better team, made 14 threes in the game this year, and obviously Kyrie Irving with the Celtics.
So there are all these ramifications, and again, we all saw the teams up there. That's Jalen's choices, so that speaks for itself. Bruce, how about you? What's one thing that stood out for you?
The thing that stood out to me was the fact that KD is second team. And that's just a talent thing as far as I'm concerned. Paul George over KD, I didn't see it that way. It's not to take away from what Paul George did this year. I thought he was an MVP candidate. But we're talking about Kevin Durant. Y'all know me. That's that same guy. Now, even though I feel like the Golden State Warriors will win without him in the championship, it doesn't take away from his great scoring ability, the fact that he's an MVP, and it's mind-boggling to me that he's second team.
Also, the NBA gets so many things right. They do a disservice to the players and to the voters by not announcing the winners right at the end of the regular season. Because now just your conscience is going to take in playoff glory or failure. Now you look back at these awards and they look outdated. I had Paul George on the first team instead of KD because if you were doing MVP race this year, I had Harden, Giannis, and PG. It's third.
Yeah.
So that means he's the first team. That's how I ended up coming up with that.
And 6 weeks ago, that seemed to make a lot more sense than it feels like it does now. To your point, Laura, how about some of the other objections over there?
Yeah, let's start with Jay, and we'll get to Seth and your objections. But I want to get your point on Kemba Walker being on that third team and how that affects free agency. Spin that forward for us.
Well, just like Jay Rose says, I don't care what team they are. Hornets, Bobcats, I'll wear any name you want if I get paid an extra $80 million.
Right.
So I agree with Jay Rose in that and staying in Charlotte. That also shrinks up the market, though, for free agency. So if we're not saying that if that's Kawhi potentially going to the Clippers, who knows where KD and Kyrie go. But if they don't go to the Lakers, then not getting a chance to have a guy like Kemba come to LA, which is a suitable free agent for them to attack, I think hurts the market overall.
It's interesting. When you think about what you saw of the All-NBA teams, talk to us about what you didn't like.
I don't understand the Kyrie thing. I mean, I thought if you're a great player, you make your team better. Were the Celtics better with Kyrie or without him? I mean, so like to me, like just like Klay Thompson talked about, it's about winning. All right. Were the Celtics better? So look, Kyrie can do what he can do. He's a unique talent, not the most unique talent, Jalen, but a unique talent. A guy that can get a shot anytime he wants and create separation. But the Celtics were worse this year.
Yeah.
And the drama that surrounded him and their team during the course of the season, he took away from their culture. So to me, I was shocked to see him on the second team.
How about this? I also think this is the first time since the 2007-2008 season that LeBron James hasn't been first team. Like Father
11
Time
straight,
is undefeated.
Right?
Now I'm saying if they make some moves, potentially he could be back in that conversation. But is this the last time that we've seen LeBron on first team All-NBA? That's a question we have to ask ourselves.
Yeah. Well, what do you think about that?
Well, I think a lot depends upon free agency next year. I think look, the thing that made LeBron so great when he was in Cleveland is that he had Kyrie. Kyrie was kind of that closer where they can play off each other. LeBron not having those pieces around him, I think that overall hurts LeBron and how you view him as it relates to championship.
He doesn't have a Robin right now. He doesn't even have.
It's hard to do it all.
Who was the butler in Batman?
Right.
He doesn't even have the butler.
I want to get back to Kyrie quickly because you've said this on this show before, but I think it's worth mentioning today. When they were talking earlier at the other set about LeBron and Kyrie potentially teaming back up, you were rolling your eyes over here. You don't see that happening at all.
I just, and it's what Jalen said towards the back end of the comment that really kind of hit home with me, and it did before. People at home have to recognize, he could take humble soup and go to L.A. But the narrative that the media would spin on that would follow Kyrie Irving for the rest of his career. So pretty much you left that situation in Cleveland because you wanted to be your own man. You went to your own team. You had a chance to lead your own men. You couldn't do it. So, how the media, I don't deem that as a failure, but the media, oh, you failed. And then you run back to LeBron in LA. I think the media would crucify him. And I think Kyrie's smart enough to think about, hey, how's this going to pan out about my legacy? Yeah. I don't think Kyrie would let that be his legacy.
But he set the stage. He set the stage by basically the statement he made in the middle of the season.
Totally. And he's also been, of course, very reticent to look at the public opinion of him and be happy with it. Greeny, we'll get back to you guys.
Well, yeah, I think that's such an interesting point. I'm glad that Jay Will brought that up because it came up here earlier when Tibbs and I were arguing. And at some point, I think that we have gotten ourselves so fixated in the culture in which we live on what's everyone going to say. And people make too many decisions based on what other people are going to say and not what actually makes sense. If you're Kyrie Irving and you step back and look at your career in this moment in time, by far, I believe your best chance to recapture glory, if you define glory as winning, is playing with LeBron James because they fit together perfectly.
Greeny, that's today's culture. Like when we played sports and as you started covering sports, we didn't care about being liked and or followed. That's what social media is right now. Two of the most unhappy people the entire year with the media were Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving, who both seem to be in great situations. So I can't eliminate that he's going to ignore what the public has to say, especially when I see KD, for example, go from being talked about being the best player in the game to being injured a couple of games. Now he's clapping back at people with 150 followers.
I know, and a lot of that just doesn't